And welcome to football. We come to you tonight from Saline County for the first time this season. We have Comcast football, McClellan Lions, and Scott Philbick, the Bryant Hornets, #1 team in the state.
It's unbelievable. 50 years of football. It's the first time they've ever had that honor. And for them tonight, it's very simple. Win, and they are in the playoffs.
Bryant kicking off, the team in blue. They are 7-0, 4-0 in the 5A South. McClellan receiving the kickoff, 2-5 and 1-3. And back deep for the kick and receiving it, it's Roger Martis from the 10 out across the 20, 26, 28-yard line. And Martis with a 17-yard return for McClellan. And the Lions take over 1st and 10. McClellan coming off a loss last week to Texarkana, 31-0. They have won 2 games this season, one of those against a very formidable team, J.A. Fair. They beat the Fair War Eagles 20-19 in Game 1. They also beat Camden Fairview 21-19, 2 wins by 3 points for the team in red and white, the McClellan Lions, which come in 2-5 on the season. At quarterback for McClellan, Terrell Hammonds. He is number 6. Pair of backs in the backfield. Handoff. It's actually Hammonds on a keeper. Fake the handoff to King. He is pushed back. And Scott, one thing about this Bryant team, they pursue the ball very well.
Well, they're a scrappy ball club, and interesting note, last week both coaches said their teams were flat. The difference being Bryant was flat, but they won the ball game in overtime, 24-21 against Camden Fairview. Last week, McClellan was flat as well, but they got drilled and lost 31-0 against Texarkana. So McClellan right now pretty much out of the playoff picture, just trying to play the role of spoiler this week.
That game last week, one of the 2 close games Bryant has had this season. Handoff to the second man on a spin move. He is near first down yardage to the 40-yard line. Ball carrier for McClellan is 17, Trey Sims, 5'10", 200. Sims is a senior.
First down of the ball game, and for Bryant, you look at this ball club, they don't have a lot of size, they don't have a lot of speed, but their guys are playing as a unit this year, and they are really the epitome of team effort. They're getting the job done. They scored 55 points against a very fast Pine Bluff team, so speed really does not affect the Bryant defense that much.
McClellan, after a first down, has it from its own 40-yard line. Handoff, first man, and he's still got running room to the 45-yard line, 50-yard line. That's a nice gain. On the carry for McClellan at 17, Sims once again.
Sims were their go-to guys, and excuse me, for McClellan, it's going to be big for them just to open the holes up in the middle. Terrell is their quarterback, is a very gifted athlete. He's got some good size, 6'2", 205 pounds. First year he's played quarterback, but he runs the option well, and he can run the football.
And Scott, our viewers might hear the McClellan band. When I say right in front of us, I mean no more than 7 or 8 feet, right in front of us.
We hear them and we feel them as well.
1st and 10 for the Lions. Hammonds wants to run the option. Will keep it across the 50. Being pursued. Turns the corner. Great move by Hammonds. 15, 20 yards. What a run by Hammonds. First down yardage across the 30-yard line of Bryant on a super run by Hammonds.
That's the thing that Bryant has been able to do so far this year is keep opponents from getting around the outside of their linebackers and their cornerbacks. But that play, Hammonds did an excellent job using speed to get around to the outside. Picked up yet another first down, 3rd of the game for McClellan.
He had a touchdown 2 weeks ago in the game against Pine Bluff. They lost that game, but Hammonds is a player to be reckoned with. Pine Bluff, that would have been 4 weeks ago. He also had a touchdown in last week's game. They send a man out wide to the right side, Jamal Morris. 1st and 10, McClellan has the football, and they are marching. Somebody jumped off sides and flags fly.
Bryant Hornets, for the first time this year, are going to a 4-3 defense. It's allowed them to do a few different things, and with their lack of size on the defensive line, they've been able to utilize those linebackers, and it's easier to get to those corners when you have the 3 linebackers in those slots. So it's not that Bryant has done a bad job of getting the quarterback and rushing the passer. They've done that fine, but it's also enabled them to teams that just really like to pound the ball up the middle. It allows them to try to stop them as best as they can.
5-yard walk-off goes against McClellan, and they have 1st and 15. Hammonds with a pair of backs in the backfield. Wants to run the option right side, pitch to the second man, and he is brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Andreas Davis was the ball carrier, but Benton was Bryant all over that play, Scott.
Great play by Josh Bombeck. He's coming up from the corner spot, and making the play right there. He's made several big plays this year, having a couple of Oskies. Matter of fact, in their win against Sheridan on week 4, Sheridan was driving at the 4-yard line with 11 seconds to go. He picked the ball off, preserved a 20-19 victory. So Bomback, a big player on the defensive side of the ball for Bryant.
It was first and long. Now it's second and long. Second and 21 for the Lions. Hand up at the middle. Sims again has got maybe 2 yards, and he is stopped there at the 35-yard line.
Looks like Bryant was a little bit nervous coming out of the gate and allowing some McClellan backs to gain some yardage. Right now, maybe regaining their composure a little bit and having a good defensive stand after 3 quick first downs by McClellan.
McClellan has marched the football from its own 27. And for the Lions now, third and long, about 19. Hammonds wants to throw, has the receiver, short of the first down, breaks the tackle, and is pulled down across the original first down marker to the 22-yard line. Andreas Davis, the receiver, but he is short of the first down.
A little roll out to the left by Hammonds and just dumping it off on the screen underneath. And Hammond's not just a real proficient passer. He's more of a running type quarterback and runs that option. But he can't throw the football. And as we take a look at McClellan head coach David Gunn throwing in the pass play, and looks like McClellan will be going for it on 4th down.
Lions will go on 4th. The drive that started at their own 26-yard line. Hammonds wants to pass. Rolls right, fires near the goal line. Pass is caught. First down and just short of the goal line. A huge catch. And on the receiving end, it's Jamal Morris, number 2.
There is a flag on the play. Take a look at it and see what that is. If that's going to stand or going to be called back. It looks like it's going against McClellan. So they will bring that ball back.
And it may have been McDuffie who made the catch, but the penalty appears to go against the Lions. They've already been penalized once for 5 yards. This may be their second one.
And Coach Gunn not happy about that. And, you know, well, he should not be. He's upset at the official for making that call right there, but brought back a huge play, got them down about to the 2-yard line with that pass play.
Now they had 4th and 7. This brings up 4th and 12. And this could be a punting situation for the Lions. Or they may go for it again. They're going to go again. They send out 2 men to the right side, McDuffie and Morris. And 1 man is wide left. McClellan going for it on 4th down and 12. The drive that started on their own 26. Hammonds wanted to pass, now runs it, tucks it up. He can't get first down yardage, and he's stopped way short of the first down at the 25-yard line.
Well, the field was spread a little bit as the receivers, a couple of them went wide right and just ran down the field, opened up the middle a little bit, but it closed quickly, and Bryant doing a pretty good job of swarming to the football and stopping McClellan on their opening possession over on downs.
Now check out this Bryant quarterback, Derek McCoy, a senior, and he's got guys he likes to throw to, and he's got some good running backs as well. This Bryant team has scored some points this year. Pair of backs in the backfield and 2 men wide to each side, or 1 wide to either side. 5 seconds on the play clock. McCoy up the middle. He faked the handoff to Brown. And Scott, you pick up the ball carrier there. Apparently it was Matt White. 11, Matt White.
It is Matt White, and Matt White, just a sophomore. Fort Bryant had to step in. A couple of their backs went down with injuries earlier this year, one with an ankle sprain, and Luke Brown went down with a shoulder problem, but Brown is back this week, and but Matt White continues to be their go-to guy at the running back spot.
14, McCoy had a good game running the ball last week. Handoff again on the inside, and a gain of about 3 on the play, near first down yardage. And short of a first down, though. Oh, it is a first down. Well, he'll mark it as 3rd down. He pointed forward. It's marked as 3rd. 3rd and short for Bryant. The Hornets' first possession.
Derek McCoy, a very interesting story. This is his first year. He is a senior. His first year to play quarterback. They had a fantastic quarterback last season, and McCoy, they were a little bit nervous about his ability to run the offense, but he has done a stellar job. And
hand off to the first man. Very little gain on the play. And it'll be, that is first down yardage, though. So Bryant has its first down of the ball game.
Bryant wastes no time, really, in the huddle. They get up to the line, and that one-back offense, they spread the receivers out, and they really have one of the most balanced offenses in the state of Arkansas.
Farmer and Michael Wallace come wide to the right side. Also a pair of receivers wide to the left. McCoy wants to throw, lofts it up. Left sideline, nearly intercepted, incomplete, intended for Matt White. Defending on the play for McClellan, Leroy Hamilton.
Well, Hamilton was there all the way. There really was no daylight on the play for McCoy to hit his receivers.
There's Lewis Short from Channel 4. He's been shooting these games since these kids are about 2 years old. Lewis has done it a long time. Second down and long for the Bryant Hornets, their first possession. On the sideline, signaling the plays in, second-year coach Darryl Patton. His team 7-0, looking to lock up a playoff berth. McCoy over the middle. Pass is caught. Matt White first down across midfield to the 46.
Well, let go of the football, but they were saying his knee was down, so Bryant will retain possession. But Matt White really is a great athlete. He has come in and done a great job for the Hornets this year as just a sophomore, so he's got a bright future ahead of him. Can run the football and can catch some passes as well, as you saw right there.
Now Bryant's going to run the go-go attack here. McCoy, the quarterback. In the back here with him is Luke Brown. Two wideouts to the right side. On the near side of the field, on the left side, he's got Matt Brown. The no-huddle offense for the #1 team in the state, the Bryant Hornets. Fakes the option. A keeper. McCoy has got yardage to the 40-yard line, and he picks up 5 on first down.
Bryant is just really a fantastic story this year. Finished 3-7 a year ago. Picked to finish in the bottom of the conference this year. This town is just loving this football season. They are 7-0 on the year. They've played football for 50 years. They've had 6 winning seasons.
One playoff team in that time. Yeah.
One playoff, 1985.
The ball carrier is Luke Brown. He's got first down yardage. Boy, this Bryant team can be quick. A good gain on the play. Long yardage for Brown, the ball carrier, a junior. Coming back from a shoulder injury, and Luke Brown has a nice game for the Bryant Hornets.
Yeah, we talked about a balanced offense, and this year coming into this ball game, Bryant has rushed for nearly 1,400 yards, passed for 1,600 yards, about 3,000 yards total offense, and it's just almost a dead heat between rush and pass.
Matt Brown wide right, Josh Farmer wide left. McCoy, 14, the quarterback, now steps back from under center. The play clock's at 14, so he's got lots of time. And again, Bryant still going no huddle. This drive started at their 25-yard line. Handoff with a single running back. And with the carry, it's Luke Brown. He's close to first down yardage. He probably has first down yardage. He's got it.
Well, that's what works so well for Bryant. They have spread the 4 receivers out wide on each side of the football, and it makes the defenses come up with a lot of different things to be able to stop you. What are you going to stop? If you stop the pass, then it leaves the run open. If you try to stop the run, it leaves the pass open. So Bryant has fooled a lot of defenses this year.
Again, Farmer wide to the right side. McCoy, shotgun, 2 men chasing him. Pass out left side, Matt White. White's got room, scampers near the 10-yard line and finally pushed out of bounds. But White's a good ball carrier. He has a nice gain inside the 10-yard line.
Great scrappy run. Matt White catching the pass, and the yards after the catch were critical there, and he just lowered his head and lowered the boom on the McClellan back, picked up a couple more yards. Great effort. Just a sophomore, as we mentioned, and Matt White has rushed for about 105 yards per game on the average. He's picked up 740 yards coming into this ball game and 10 touchdowns, so he is very productive.
And he had 2 touchdowns in last week's overtime win, the win that kept Bryant undefeated on this season. First and goal from the Hornets at about the 8-yard line. Bryant and McClellan tied. First period, first possession for Bryant. McCoy has got 2 backs in the backfield. Handoff goes right side with a carry down under the 5-yard line. Luke Brown.
Looks like a flag on the play, but that is right on the goal line. Let's see what this penalty is right here. Going against Bryant. They'll step it off a little bit. You're getting a little taste right now of the Bryant offense. They're really a powerful machine, and it's picking up about 420 yards per game, scoring 33 points. So it's an offensive juggernaut for the Bryant Hornets.
They've had impressive wins this year. Beat Conway 30-15, won at Catholic 33-17, beat Malvern 41-8, Sheridan 20-19, and their second closest game of the year, and then beat Pine Bluff 55-31 in a game that caught a lot of folks' attention. McCoy wants to throw. Passes left side off the fingertips of White, incomplete.
Well, McClellan had that play pretty well defended, even if he had caught the pass. Unless he had come up with a spectacular run after the catch, McClellan was right there on the spot. But you mentioned that Conway game that got out of the gates in a hurry, and really the coaches say that was kind of the turning point for their season. It gave them some huge confidence, and Conway, not a team that they've had a lot of success with, and came out strong and just really took it at them. And from that point on, this team has felt like, yeah, we can play with anybody.
You know, Bryant just is going to run plays as quick as they can, Scott. That was a quick pass intended left side for 11 White. Incomplete, brings up third down and goal, actually, from about, what, the 15-yard line? Your quarterback is 14 McCoy. With him in the backfield, 4 Luke Brown. He has a pair of receivers wide to each side. Looks to pass toward the left side, toward the end zone to White. If White caught it, a touchdown. It is a catch and a touchdown, and Bryant's on the scoreboard.
Unbelievable catch by Matt White. Threw it over the other shoulder. He was expecting it over the right shoulder. Came over the left. He just kind of looked up and gave it the Willie Mays type catch over the shoulder. Hauled it in. Bryant on the board first.
A 15-yard TD pass from McCoy to White, and the Hornets strike first at 3:35 to play in the first period. They'll come on and attempt the extra point. Their extra point man is 23, Nick Harbert, a junior. Bryant uses 2 kickers. You might see Josh Alt in longer situations, but I saw Harbert getting distance from 47 in warm-ups. He has easy distance from extra point range, and Bryant takes a 7-0 lead on the touchdown and the extra point by Harbert.
Well, the kind of start that Bryant wanted tonight, and their fans are really out in force. There's not a whole lot of empty seats out there, and they're kind of around the track as well, and a great atmosphere for high school football. And for these Bryant Hornets, this town has really gotten behind this team this year. They're really excited about their 7-0 start and the possibilities that await these Hornets. And this coaching staff is it's been a long time coming for this community, and they are really enjoying this season so far and enjoying the start of this football game.
The last time this Bryant team made the playoffs, their coach, Darrell Patton, was their quarterback. 1985. He was a senior that year, so this would be sweet for him to clinch it in this game, make the playoffs, go to 8-0, and keep that #1 ranking. McClellan, incidentally, the team that's ranked number 26 in the state for our good friends at Hooten's Arkansas football. From the 6-yard line, here come the McClellan Lions. And not much of a game there, maybe the 21-yard line. With the return from McClellan, Roger Martis, 9.
Well, McClellan has shown some potential this year. You know, obviously they got out and beat the defending state champions, first ball game of the year, 20-19, in a hard-fought battle, and kind of fell in hard times after that, losing 4 ball games in a row. And really, this team is young. They've got a lot of young players on their team, and making mistakes that are costing them in ball games, turning the ball over, allowing some big plays by their other teams, but they've stayed in some ball games and you know, look good at times as well.
The Lions from their own 22, first play, handoff inside, and virtually no gain on the play. Carrier is 24, Andreas Davis. Scott, hard to believe that after tonight, just 2 weeks of regular season football left. It's really gone by fast.
Well, it has gone by fast, and usually it's a little bit cooler than at this time in the football season that it has been the past couple of weeks.
Yep, game time temperature 71 degrees. A slight breeze from the northwest. Got a man in motion. McClellan second possession. They trail Bryant 7-0. Boy, big pursuit on Hammonds. He is nailed and pulled down behind the line of scrimmage, making the play. 83, Justin Keene, a senior linebacker for the Hornets.
Justin Keene getting the job done, and that's what this linebacking core has done all year. And they've come up with the big stops when they've had to, and Keene rushing from his linebacker spot and coming up with a sack and a huge loss.
Brings up third down and 18 for McClellan. And Coach David Gunn sends in the batch of new backs and receivers. McClellan still an outside shot at making the playoffs, but need to win this game and have some good things happen along the way. They come into this game 1-3 in the 5A South. Hammonds wants to throw on 3rd and long from near his end zone. Does pass long, right side. Pass is almost intercepted and then almost completed. On the receiving end, Jamal Morris, and defending on the play, Jesse Jones.
Well, Jamal Morris did a good job of even having the opportunity to catch that ball. A lot of Bryant Horns around that area, but Harris, athletic ability, stepping up and almost making the catch, almost didn't really count.
We'll see the first punt of the game. Now back deep to kick for McClellan. That looks like 9, Roger Martis. Martis has the snap and gets off the kick. In great field position for McClellan and taking or for Bryant and taking the kick is Matt Brown. And the Hornets really benefit from field position here. It'll be the 43-yard line of the team in red and white, the Little Rock McClellan Lions, and Bryant has super field position for his second possession. Almost 43 of McClellan. Beautiful night, clear, great for football. First game coming from Saline County this year. Bryant High School taking on Little Rock McClellan. And Bryant has 2 games remaining at Texarkana next week and then at Benton, their traditional Battle of Saline County to close the season. Now with 15 seconds left on the clock, they do the quarterback running off to the left side, and throwing the pass to him was Matt Brown.
Oh, you like that.
Oh, man.
How about that play?
Had McCoy running off toward the coach, and he suddenly took off downfield because the ball was snapped to Matt Brown. Boy, that's a tricky play. It's good for a first down.
Well, on that no-huddle offense, the quarterback just kind of stands back there as the line lines up. They've got plenty of time to run this play clock, and the quarterback all the time looking over the sidelines, and this time acting confused, ran out to the sideline as if to get something from the coach. They hiked it, and he was open for a big game down the sideline.
And I like this offense. Quarterback is under center now. This is McCoy. He pitches. This guy might want to throw. This is White, but White is snowed under and hit hard. McClellan smelled that one out. In to make the tackle for the McClellan Lions, 23, Laverace James, and 23, Thomas, and 20, Thomas Brewer.
Well, they'll run some fake reverses and throw the ball, and right there, White looked like he wanted to step up and let it fly. And McClellan had other ideas, good pursuit on the defensive line.
You got to watch Bryant. Second down and probably 19 yards. The play clock is at 10 seconds. 14 is the quarterback, McCoy. He's got guys everywhere. Pumps, now throws along the right sideline deep, and the pass incomplete. Pass intended, I believe, for Michael Wallace, a broken. Oh, did he catch it?
Caught the football.
Oh, Wallace, what a catch along the sideline by 3, Michael Wallace.
Yeah, it's a great effort. He did exactly what a receiver was supposed to do, and he jumped to the highest point and hauled that ball in, but a great catch and another first down for Bryant, and obviously on the move once again, and this high-powered offense taking it right at the McClellan Lions.
Down to the 3, give a big pat on the back to 3, Wallace, because he has the Hornets in scoring position again. They do break the huddle this time. 38 seconds to play in the first quarter. McCoy rolls to his left. Pass into the end zone, incomplete, intended for Wallace and over his head.
Well, if you're going to throw it, he had the man open. He's under pressure just a little bit, which is rare for this Bryant team and for McCoy this year. He's only been sacked 3 times, so he doesn't get under pressure a lot, but that's also a courtesy of a quick 3-step drop that he has. But got the ball off a little bit quicker than he intended to, and just overthrew his man Wallace in the corner of the end zone.
Now Bryant shuffles personnel. Wallace goes out of the game. They'll operate with 3 backs in the backfield. 2nd and goal from the 3. Handoff is to 4, and it is Brown. Is he in for the touchdown? Yes, Brown has the touchdown, and Bryant scores again.
But just a quick inside handoff, and line doing a good job of opening up the hole. Brown lowering his head and reaching Pater first quarter for the Bryant Hornets. And really, you're seeing the Hornets at their best tonight, opening up the offense, and as they've been doing all year long, mixing up the run and the pass with great effectiveness.
That touchdown comes with 28 seconds. Bryant will try and add the PAT and make it a 14-0 game. Kick on the way by Harbert, and good, and the Bryant Hornets are rolling 14-0 on the Luke Brown 3-yard run with 28 seconds to play in the first quarter. Now this Bryant team, Scott, can put some points on the board, and they keep the opponent off balance. And I tell you, McClellan's got his hands full trying to keep these guys in check and then keep their defense resting, because their defense plays on the field a long time. One of they have not.
Well, the thing also does is it really doesn't allow the defensive coordinator to rotate players in and out, and it keeps them off balance and confused, and that's tonight against McClellan. They find the power curve in 14 zip.
Goes off to his left and has the ball from the 8. He's across the 20, 25, and hit very hard there. McDuffie trying to stay on his feet, and is snowed down at the 25-yard line.
Well, since that opening drive where McClellan jumped out, got a couple of first downs, 3 first downs to be exact, and moved the ball rather well, but Bryant has stepped up and really not allowed anything since that point. So it's important for McClellan really to get something going offensively right here as this quarter winds down, but establish themselves and you know, if nothing else, give their defense a little time to catch a breather on the sidelines.
Hammonds, the McClellan quarterback, a keeper, gain of 4 on the play, and he's just short of the 30-yard line. Time in the first quarter about to expire here. Clock is now down to 8, 7, and 6 seconds. So we have come to the end of the first quarter of play. It's been all Bryant's offense so far. A pair of touchdowns, one on a pass from McCoy to Matt White, and then a Luke Brown 3-yard run. First quarter is over. Bryant is on top 14-0. More football coming up. This broadcast brought to you by Regions Bank, financial solutions that last a lifetime.
Can a bank help you prepare for the year 2000? It can if it's one of the strongest banks in America, Regions Bank. Because all of Regions' systems are Y2K tested and ready. You can check on your money 24 hours a day with the right call. And with Regions Internet Banking, you can pay bills, access your statement, even transfer funds safely and efficiently from anywhere in the world. Regions Bank, one of the strongest banks in America and Y2K ready.
What is it about the Children's Theater that keeps you coming back?
It's definitely the costumes. I'd have to give the production thumbs up. The actors seem to have a good chemistry thing going on. No, maybe it's just the magic of live theater. Or the affordability. Or the quality time spent with family. From the mouths of babes.
Arkansas Art Center Children's Theater.
High school football on Comcast Cable from Bryant High School Stadium. The hometown Hornets leading 14-0. Hammonds wants to throw for visiting McClellan over the middle. Had a man, overthrew him. Intended receiver for McClellan is 3, Keon McDuffie.
Well, Keon not very happy about that. He was wide open, and if that ball been laid in there just right, he wouldn't have had to even break stride, and it would have been 6 points for the Lions, which would really have helped them out. Quick strike capabilities and put some points on the board for McClellan.
David Gunn's team, as Scott said earlier, had one of the big upsets of this season, beat the defending state champion Fair War Eagles in Game 1. I think folks thought, man, this McClellan team is for real, and they may have thought that, but then they've come back to lose a number of games, come into this game 2-5 and 1-3 in South Conference play, and no room there for Hammonds. He is dragged down, a loss on the play, and that brings up a long yardage situation for the McClellan Lions.
Well, great read by the Bryant defense right there on the pitch play, and coached real well tonight. Take a look at it right there. Hammond really wanted to pitch that ball, but wrapped up rather quickly, and no place to go, and decided just to tuck it and go ahead and try to punt the football away.
And so 9 drops back to kick for McClellan, and that's Roger Martis. See if Bryant rushes the punt. They got one man back. They're going to come and try and block it, but the kick is off. And again, great field position for the Hornets from the 49-yard line. It's Matt Brown. Brown across the 45 and stopped there. But for the second time in a row, Bryant takes over inside McClellan territory.
Well, not only is Bryant winning the battle on the scoreboard, they're also winning the battle on field position. They have a short field to work with, and giving this team, offensive team, a short field to work with is just icing on the cake for them. So they can do a lot of things with it.
So far, their field position, their own 25, touchdown. McClellan's 43, touchdown, and now the Lions' 44-yard line. McCoy swings a pass out right side. It's complete to Jamison, and Jamison a gain of 2 on the play.
Well, great stick by Nick Pettis on the play. Looked like a lot of room for Bryant to run, but Pettis just jumped up there, and when they met, it was like ground zero. You're not going any further. Good hit.
14, senior quarterback Derek McCoy in the backfield with him, Matt White. 3 men wide to the right side, 1 wide left. White has the football. He's got 5 yards. He's got 10. First down across the 25 to 20 finally. Dragged out at the 15-yard line. A great run by White. Finally taken out of bounds by Thomas Brewer, and a first down for the Hornets.
Well, Taylor, for the second week in a row, we've got a sophomore running back that really looks good. Last week was Central's Poole. This week it's Matt White from Bryant. And really, Bryant not known for their speed, but White doing an excellent job of finding his blocks, popping to the outside, and picking up some great yardage.
And White goes out for this play. And in the backfield is Luke Brown. Very colorful backfield for Bryant. Brown has it after the White carry. And Brown, who didn't have much room, still gains 5 on the play. Sorry, Scott.
Got that one.
I was scanning the roster for like a Joe Green or a Vince Black, but didn't find it.
Well, there's a Nick Black.
Is there?
Yeah, Nick Black.
There you go.
Number
There
13.
sure is, number 13. Brings up second down and 5. Ball marked at the 10. Bryant trying to score for the 3rd time in this game. Straight handoff, or rather the straight snap goes to Brown. Brown up the middle. He's down near the 5-yard line. Luke Brown is coming back from a shoulder injury, but has come back nicely. He's just a junior.
Well, for a team to go from 3-7 last season to so far 7-0 this year, what happened? Did they get some new players in? Did they get a new attitude? Well, they've gotten a couple sophomores that have really helped out this year so far, but the kids have a turned-around attitude this year. They had a great offseason. They had some success this summer on those 7-on-7 drills. Went to Louisiana, competed against some high schools down there, held their own, so they really connected with their skilled players, and it's paying off this year.
And quarterback sneak McCoy, he's down to about the 4-yard line, but he wanted first down yardage, and he got it, Scott. So another first down for the Hornets, officially number 7 for Bryant on the game, and now they've got a goal line situation early in the second quarter, already leading 14-0.
Well, coming off last week's sluggish Camden Fairview, it's nice to be sluggish and still win the ball game, which is really tells the tale for Bryant this year. They didn't play great, but they still won the football game, and it's finding a way to win. But coaches have said they've had a great week of practice. They've been very focused. so they did not get down. It's a different story when you're the hunted rather than the hunter, and that's Bryant's case this year as they've piled up some victory after victory.
Hand off to White. He is stopped short of the goal line. I'm trying to catch the signals that are coming from the sideline, and I watch McCoy looking over there, and I can't really tell how the signals are coming in. Now I see him. Okay. It's like watching that Shiloh Christian team in the last 2 years. They would hold up the numbers on the side and bring the plays in that way, and barely huddled in that offense. Second down and goal. Football at the 3. Brown and White are in the backfield. Actually, it's a full house backfield. Handoff went to the first man. He is stopped way short of the goal line. And that time the ball carrier was 16, Josh Farmer, a junior.
Take a look at it right here in slow motion. He's already handed the ball off, but way to follow through on the fake. But McClellan stood their ground and denying on that play right there brings up a third down for Bryant.
And that fullback is so close it's hard to defend because you've got to respect that fake. Third down and goal from about the 3. Man in motion. Handoff left side. Easy touchdown on the way for Luke Brown.
Well, good play. Everything was going to the right for Bryant, and Luke Brown decided to go to the left, and there was nobody over there for McClellan. As we take a look at it, good blocking by the Bryant line, and really just a cakewalk for Luke Brown, and another touchdown for the Hornets.
And one more for Brown. He had a 3-yard run end of the first period. Now here in the second period with 7:26 on the second quarter clock, Brown adds another one. And Bryant has taken a 20-0 lead, and they'll try and make it 21-zip. On to kick the extra point is 23, Nick Harbert. They are enjoying this game in Bryant. Harbert added the PAT, and 2 touchdowns by Brown, both of 3 yards, give Bryant the 21-0 lead over McClellan.
Well, they are certainly on their way to their second playoff appearance in 50 years. One every 25, whether they need it or not, but it's very impressive with this Bryant offense so far, and their defense has really stepped up as well and stopped McClellan in their tracks. And Luke Brown going around the left side, picking up another touchdown for the Hornets. 21-zip in this second quarter.
Each of these teams has 2 games left. For Bryant, that's Texarkana, and that's Benton, and then for McClellan, they play Benton next week and then Sheridan to close things out. Both those games are at McClellan High. You know, Bryant, because of its non-conference schedule this year, only plays 4 home games. So they may be a tough team come playoff time. They have to go on the road.
Well, and if they do go on to win this football game tonight, their goal all year long has been make the playoffs. So they're going to have to readjust if they win this ball game and set some new goals for themselves, because they are well on their way to reaching that ultimate goal of reaching the playoffs.
And certainly they may stay at home for a long time for playoff game. Reverse in the backfield by McClellan. And with the football, I think finally it's 8, and 8 is Kelton Presley. He is out to the 11-yard line, and that's it. Or is that 9?
There is a flag on the play as we take another look at it, and they're running the ball up the field, but Bryant doing a good job and doing exactly what they're supposed to do, filling their lanes and staying in their lanes, not really biting on the reverse. They bobbled the ball there, but got the reverse underway, but the Hornets staying in their lanes and coming up with a stop. But penalty flag against the Hornets, and that will give McClellan pretty solid field position. We can see what this penalty is here.
And 9 is Roger Martis. The penalty goes against Bryant and gives McClellan great field position nearly the 30-yard line. Pitch goes left side, 17, Trey Sims. Sims has got running room. He's got a first down. He's got 20-plus yards. Sims across the 40-yard line. Boy, what a run by Sims from the 28-yard line across midfield. So that's what, 22 plus another 10, a 32, 33-yard run for Trey Sims, number 17.
Sims doing a great job of getting around the left side and really taking some Hornets with him as he picked up some big yardage. A couple weeks ago, Sims racked up 107 yards in a victory against Camden Fairview. So a big gain by Sims in their first down since their opening drive.
Took the ball from his 28 to Bryant's 39. So McClellan, with a great run by Sims, has good field position. Lost ball, loose on the ground, picked up, but a flag and a whistle stopped the play.
One thing that is stopped McClellan all year long is they get some momentum going, they run the ball, they pick up some good yardage, and then they come up with a turnover or turn the ball over to the other team and kills them. So they've lost a few ball games in that manner. They really dominated the game against Pine Bluff. They outrushed Pine Bluff 276 yards, 158. They outpassed them. They had more first downs. They ran more offensive plays, yet they lost on the scoreboard 28-14.
First down and 15 for McClellan. Hammonds wants to throw long. Has a man, and the pass is incomplete, intended for 3. Keon McDuffie.
McDuffie is saying, come on, Terrell, give me the football. I've been open a couple of times. You've overthrown me a little bit. Pretty solid coverage there by Bryant, but yet Wallace was open. If the ball had been laid in there, it would have been a huge play for McClellan. Said, Terrell, I'm there. Give me the ball. I'm open. I've been getting back behind my defenders. Just get it to me, bud.
Second down and long, McClellan. They trail in this game 21-0 in second period action. McClellan and Bryant coming to you from Saline County on Comcast Football on Friday nights. Hammonds will option on the right side. Keeper and gains 5 to the 40, 39-yard line. Mark it there.
Well, could have been more. Got tripped up a little bit and turned maybe a 15-yard gain into a 5. Lost his footing. Look at it right there. Tripped up. Looks like by his own player.
Makes it a third down and 10 situation for McClellan. The McClellan band still keeping the spirit up on this side of the field.
Keep the beat going, man.
Lions third down and 10. Hammonds to pass. Has time. Again throws long. He's got a good arm.
He's got a gun.
Again for the same man. Incomplete and again intended for 3. Keon McDuffie.
Well, that last time, Keon's just not having a good night tonight. Not very happy about that, but you're right. Hammonds with a gun and he got back to the huddle and said, let's run that same play. I've been open a couple of times. This time maybe he held on to the football just a little bit too long and he had to wait on it, giving Bryant a little bit of time to converge on the play and break it up. Brings up a fourth down.
4th and 10. 6:09 to go in the second quarter, and McClellan's going to go for it on 4th and long. 3 backs in the backfield. Now they're going to punt. And Roger Martis gets the kickoff, and this one's going to take a nice McClellan roll inside the 10. And the Lions this time give Bryant some tough field position all the way back at about their 7-yard line.
Well, nobody back to receive the ball from Bryant. They just wanted to go ahead and rush the punter and see if they could come up with the block. But you get the feeling that they're not really worried about their field position. They've had their way with McClellan, and it's just a matter of, as opposed to maybe 43 yards, it's going to be 93 yards this time is what their thinking is.
Scott, for Bryant, 3 offensive possessions, and as you said, 3 first downs, but they've had great field position before. The last 2 times from McClellan territory. And this time, the long drive could be in order. Handoff, and a short gain on the play.
Well, the thing about it is there's a lot of yardage to cover, but Bryant can do it in a very short amount of time. They've shown the ability to bust a big play on several occasions this year, and, one good pass down the sideline, and it's over, and they've got some receivers spread out.
Keep an eye out for 64 on defense. He's a great story. Watch for 64 on defense. Little Rock McClellan, Bryant with the football, 2nd down and 8, deep in their own territory. McCoy rolls back from around the goal line, pass right side, has a man, completion. It's Wallace, and Wallace across the 15-yard line. Oh, he's farther than that, across the 20-yard line. Nice gain to Wallace.
Well, number 64, most folks out there will probably know his dad, you think?
Well, I tell you what, the best high school player I ever saw play, Keith Jackson. And his son is now a freshman playing this McClellan team, which is incredible.
That is incredible. He doesn't seem to be old enough to have watching him in Oklahoma and catching those balls, and really every time he caught the football it seemed like it was a huge play for a touchdown.
Yep.
Didn't catch that many balls, but every one he did seemed like it was a big play. Had a great NFL career, obviously.
He played on those Parkview teams a couple years with James Rouse, and they had some dominant teams in those years. And now his son, a freshman. Nice run by Bryant. Hornets continue to drive the football.
Well, good spin move by Luke Brown, showing no ill effects from that shoulder injury, getting up the gut right there, busting through the line, and good spin move right there to avoid the tackle, pick up some more yardage. Bryant on the mark.
Team in the game, left defensive end now for McClellan, 64 White. Watch him. He is the son of legendary Keith Jackson. He is Keith Jackson. Another first down for Bryant, 1st and 10. Hornets trying to move, 3 backs in the back. Goes wide to the right side. McCoy looks, passes right side, caught by Matt Brown. He's got a first down. He's across the 50 to the 44-yard line.
Matt Brown, generally their go-to guy when they put the ball up in the air. He's got 39 catches coming into this ball game, 561 yards, 4 TDs. Not a lot of speed for Matt Brown, but he's got great hands, and he runs excellent routes, which is oftentimes the key. You take a look at a guy like Ed McCaffrey, doesn't have a lot of speed in the NFL for the Denver Broncos, but has made a fine career out of it by running precise routes and having a good hand.
This Bryant team just keeps it moving. Handoff, Luke Brown. He's across the 40. He's got to pick up a 4 yards, pushed out of bounds at the 37-yard line. And one of the players making the tackle, 64, Keith Jackson Jr.
Well, couldn't quite get around the corner, but Luke Brown trying to find around the corner, getting around Leroy Hamilton, but Hamilton holding his ground and bringing him down.
Nice play by Hamilton. Leroy Hamilton, listed as a defensive back. He's lining up as a linebacker, did in the last formation. 2nd down and 5 for Bryant. Game clock is at 4:21, 2nd quarter. They lead 21-0 over McClellan. Bryant trying to go 8-0. McCoy wants to throw, has some time, has a man, caught by Matt Brown. 1st down, he's down to the 15-yard line.
Well, McClellan brought a bunch of folks on the rush that time. Somebody had to be open down the field, and it was Matt Brown, as he is usually open down the field, and picked up some huge yardage and a good pass play, and great blocking by Bryant to pick up the blitz from McClellan, and another 1st down for the Hornets.
Mark it at the 15, 1st and 10 from the McClellan 15. This Bryant drive started way back inside their own 10-yard line. McCoy passes right side, pass, caught in the end zone. Is it a catch? Did you get the signal there, Scott? Apparently it is. Complete to Matt Brown, another touchdown. Oh, man, this Bryant team is just explosive.
Well, look at this pass. It looks like it's just floating up there, and he just jumped a little bit too soon. And the ball falls in the hands of Matt Brown for yet another touchdown. And one thing that 26, John Martin, is a sophomore for McClellan, and that's one thing that Bryant wanted to do tonight. McClellan starts a couple of sophomores in their secondary. They wanted to exploit those sophomores, and they've done that tonight and did so on that pass play. He was there with the coverage, just jumped a little bit too soon, the ball over his head. Matt Brown on the other end for the touchdown. And their 4th touchdown in this first half. The PAT is good. 28-zip Bryant on top.
We got bookends here, Scott. Bryant opened with a 15-yard touchdown pass. McCoy to Matt White. And then Luke Brown, a pair of runs from inside the 5. And then McCoy, a 15-yard TD pass to Matt Brown. And they make it 28-0. And this Bryant team is an explosive offensive juggernaut. And they are dominating this game. And all that scoring coming in the first half. And you wonder what happened against Fairview last week. They struggled and had to win that game in overtime. Well,
you talk with the coaches, and Fairview played probably their best game of the year, and And they've talked with some of the other coaches on some other teams, and yeah, that who looked at some of that film from last week's game and said, yeah, Camden Fairview played excellent, and Bryant came out a little bit flat. So the combination of both resulted in a tight game that Bryant had to win in overtime.
Give credit to these coaches. Darrell Patton is assisted by Steve Griffith, Paul Cowley, Brad Stroud, Joe Calhoun, and Clay Beeson. We met one of Clay Beeson's buddies up here in the press box, Scott Ragsdale, because Beeson used to play quarterback for Harding. Scott Ragsdale, one of the Bison coaches, here to watch one of his former players coach in this game, and well, I think he's liking what he sees from this Bryant team.
Well, especially from the quarterback spot and the position that he played, he's obviously given him a tip or two and has worked out great.
From the 4-yard line, here comes a McClellan return. Well, this is Martis. He's got nice yardage. He's across the 40-yard line. A 30-plus yard return. On the return, it's Roger Martis, a senior wide receiver for the McClellan Lions.
Well, that's a great burst of speed up the gut. A couple more steps, and he may have been gone, but trying to find a slot, and really that's kind of what you want to have your kickoff returner do, is not try to go east and west, but just pick a hole and run north and south as fast as you can, and that's the best and the quickest way to pick up some yardage. He did a great job right there and giving McClellan their best field position of the night.
It has been all in the 20s up to now, and now McClellan starts from its own 43-yard line. They are straight in front of our position. Hammonds will run the option right side, decides to keep, gains one on the play, and that's it. He is snowed under there by Bryant defenders, including 37, Philip Prim, a junior linebacker.
Flag on the play on the far side of the field. Looks like it might be holding. But Hammond's really nowhere to go. Bryant doing an excellent job of closing the gaps and really closing the options for Hammonds, and so he just decided to keep that one, and rightfully so.
Here we are. Hello. Where are you, Stephen? I see you there. Alex Wave, you're on TV. This is Alex, Scott's young son. There you go. We're on TV, friends. It's a penalty against McClellan. Marches off 5 yards unofficially against the Lions. 3 penalties for 15 yards. Want to give credit to those McClellan coaches as well. They're led by David Gunn, Anthony Chambers, Larry Stanley, Calvin Finley, O.C. Remley, Mike Thrasher, and Michael Dean. Coaches, I tell you, are way underpaid and way overworked and do a great job. First down and 15. Hammonds wants to throw. Has some time, not anymore. Is pulled down for a loss. Had a few seconds, Scott, but he couldn't get the pass away.
Well, that's a secondary. That's a coverage sack right there. The secondary doing a great job of covering up the receivers. Really, Hammond's looking, but nowhere. Nobody was open for him, and gave Bryant time to sweep in, and that was Justin Keene, senior linebacker, on the sack. Gave him time to get around the corner, and there you see the story. All Bryant tonight, 28-0. They've scored on every possession they've had.
We've called Keene's number a couple times, so keep watching for 83 in blue, one of the leading defenders for this Bryant football team. McClellan faces a second down and 20. Deep handoff and drop the ball. Who's got it? Did McClellan pick it up or was it Bryant? No, it's the Lions, but no gain on the play. Taking the handoff there was Andreas Davis, 24.
Well, Bryant a very smart timeout because it's third down with 2.5 minutes to go in this half. They might want an opportunity to try to score one more time.
Well, they've got kind of a trend going here. We'll take a break as there is timeout on the field. Bryant trying to score for the 5th straight time. 2:34 to play, second period. We'll take a break. Football is brought to you by Regions Bank, financial solutions that last a lifetime.
Can a bank make your life more rewarding? It can, if it's Regions Bank, because now there's Regions Rewards. Better rates, more convenient, region-wide service. Regions Rewards is so new, so bold, it could only come from the strength of Regions. Shouldn't your life be more rewarding? Regions Rewards, only from the strength of Regions Bank.
The story is all Bryant so far tonight. 2.5 minutes to go in this first half. Bryant on top, 28-0. McClellan with the ball, third down and forever. Bryant calling the timeout, hoping to stop McClellan right here and possibly another opportunity to score.
Yeah, third down and probably about 24 yards. Hammonds tried to roll to his right side. He loses 7 more yards to bring up fourth down and close to 30 for for McClellan, and Bryant's going to get the football back with probably decent field position and under or more than 2 minutes to play in the second quarter. There's Keene again. Scott, 83's made some big plays in this game.
Well, McClellan's line is just really is not getting their job done tonight. Bryant is just having their way with the offensive line, and on the defensive front, well, having their way on every phase of the game tonight. But Hammond's really nobody to look for, and no time to find a receiver downfield.
Another timeout is called, and Bryant's going to have the football with plenty of time. A good time to mention our crew here on cameras today: Rob Thomas, Steven Spears, and Ray Ferraro. Audio, Craig Schamberger, Kelly Eman. Also helping out on audio, graphics, or slow-mo rather, I beg your pardon. Graphics with Charles Jordan. Our special production assistant, April Cooper. Engineering by the Field Shop, and our, how do they put this? What was his title? Dan's title? Super Poobah producer, Dan Heckey.
The Big G.
Big guy in charge, Dan Heckey. The Comcast crew doing a great job as usual. And Martis drops back the kick for the team in red, the McClellan Lions. They got to try and really boom one and keep Bryant out of great field position. Kicking from about his own 9-yard line. Gets off a decent kick from the 45-yard line. It's fair caught there by the Hornets, and with the fair catch, Bryant's Matt Brown.
Well, great field position for Bryant to work from right here on their own 44-yard line. Really no problem for the Bryant Hornets as they've displayed their arsenal tonight, both in the air, on the ground, showing some, bringing the plays out of the playbook as well, showing some trick plays, and look for them to try to score here in a hurry and maybe utilize one of their trick plays. They've got 4 receivers spread out, man in motion.
So far, 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns for the Hornet. McCoy rolls right, pumps, and now lofts one up, right sideline, has a man, pass incomplete, and his receiver just out of bounds way on the far right sideline. Martis defending on the play.
Yeah, Martis doing a good job of defending right there, and McCoy under pressure, really a little bit too much air under this football, but he really had no option, and just had to wait on a little bit too long, out of bounds, but Martis right there to lower the boom.
Pass is intended for 20, Jonathan Jameson, another sophomore for Bryant. Second down and long for the Hornets, 2:09, second and 10 to be exact. And we're watching for 64 on the white team. He is playing left end right now, the son of the great Keith Jack. McCoy wants to throw. 64 rushes in, passes off, little screen to the left side. Gain on the play and out of bounds, so a pickup of probably 4 for the Hornets.
Well, that screen was set up nicely as they let the defenders on through, but McClellan doing a good job of converging on the ball and really holding them to minimal gain from where it started. About a 4-yard pickup.
Third down and 6 for the Bryant Hornets. 1:50 to play, second quarter. Bryant trying to go 5 for 5 on possessions to touchdowns. McCoy rolling right, passes. His man Wallace is hit as the ball gets there, incomplete. Martis defending on the play, along with 20, Thomas Brewer.
Well, good defensive play right there by their secondary. Ball and defender met at exactly the right time, and man was open, but good play right there. Good timing by Martis.
Clock stops on the incompletion, brings up 4th down and 6, 1:45 second period for Bryant. And a whole new bunch comes on, and they may elect to punt here for the first time in the game, Scott. They've had 4 possessions, scored 4 touchdowns here on the 5th possession with a 4th and 6. They may play it safe for the first time in the game. Well, haven't had to really be any question before now. 29 is on. That's Josh Alt. He is their punter, and now Bryant calls timeout. So they thought about it and called time. We will take a break. 1:45 to play, second period. Bryant calls time. Football on Comcast, brought to you by Regions Bank. Financial solutions that'll last a lifetime.
Can a bank help you get better grades in college? It can if it's Regions Bank, because now there's Regions Rewards. With Regions Rewards, we offer special collegiate checking, the right call, student loans, PC banking, and over 700 convenient locations throughout the South, which in turn means you can spend more time studying and maybe even make the Dean's List. Well, This could happen. Reward yourself with Regions Rewards, only from the strength of Regions Bank.
Keon McDuffie drops back deep for McClellan. Looks like Bryant is going to punt. 29. Josh Alt, who kicked last week's game-winning field goal against Camden Fairview, is back to punt for the Hornets, but they're a team that's been known to run a trick play or two. And no tricks here. Alt gets off a nice long kick. Good leg across the 20, 15-yard line. McDuffie has a gain of 5, 10 yards. He's out to the 25-yard line. And the Lions will have possession there from their own 25 with 1:35 to play, second period.
Keon McDuffie just trying to get his hands on the ball. We got a player down for Bryant.
McDuffie a return of 10 on the play, and it gives Bryant, or gives McClellan rather, field position at the 25-yard line, and Bryant has a player down.
Looks like number 67, Matt Lewis. Face down.
We will check our schedule. Next week's game, Robinson against Pulaski Academy. And then we have back-to-back Thursday, Friday games the following week, Fair and Central and North Little Rock and Parkview. So 3 more Comcast games in the remaining 2 weeks of the season. And the playoffs are here. This Bryant team will continue, and it's got to look like McClellan's going to have to wait till next year for playoff time.
Well, in this week, you know, back-to-back weeks, we've seen 2 of the best teams in the state. Last week we were at Central, at Quigley, and they've got a very potent offense as well. And this week, back-to-back weeks, we've seen some very high-powered offenses. Bryant, that could be a matchup that we could look for as the playoffs approach and we get into the playoff situation.
Central, one of the few unbeaten teams in the state, along with Bryant. We'll try and see if we see the injury here. This is the punt return by McDuffie. It was a 10-yard return from the 15 to the 25.
Boy, just can't really see anything that just jumps out at you. You can't have that spin move, but after he connected with his own player, it's like they're working on his back just a little bit.
This game, part of Comcast series of high school football. We hope you've enjoyed the entire series. Scott, we've seen, you know, most every team around here has seen some good football, some exciting games, a couple of blowouts here and there. Had mostly good weather along the way. Had some good food along the way. We always enjoy that. And been treated very well by all the places we visited. And so if you're viewing the game and you've been kind to us along the way, we much appreciate it. It's been a fun season. And after tonight, we have 2 more weeks and 3 more games of Comcast football.
Player still down for Bryant, and not really seeing him. More people coming out to try to help in the situation.
And there are medical personnel who, of course, attend each high school football game. They've been called to the scene, and we're not going to speculate on the condition of this player, the extent of his injury. As soon as we know something, we will let you know. Scoring's gone this way. It's been all Bryant. They, on their first possession, got a touchdown pass from McCoy to Matt White. 3:35 to play in the first period. They led 7-0. And then 2 touchdown runs by Luke Brown, both from 3 yards out. One very late in the first quarter to make it 14-0. And then Brown at 7:26 of the second period, and that made it 21-0. PAT is good all 3 times. And then McCoy, 15 yards to Matt Brown. At 3:59 in the second period, PAT was good. And we stand there now 28-0. Bryant has the lead of Little Rock McClellan. A Bryant player down in the field, and we are watching medical personnel right now huddle around him as a near full house here in Saline County gets set for a halftime show. Right now the crowd quieted because an injured player on the field. We shall take a break. 28-0 is the score. Bryant leading McClellan. 1:35 to play in the second quarter. Back with more football. This broadcast brought to you by Regions Bank. Financial solutions that will last a lifetime.
Can a bank help you prepare for the year 2000? It can if it's one of the strongest banks in America, Regions Bank. Because all of Regions systems are Y2K tested and ready. You can check on your money 24 hours a day with the right call. And with Regions Internet Banking, you can pay bills, access your statement, even transfer funds safely and efficiently from anywhere in the world. Regions Bank, one of the strongest banks in America, and Y2K ready.
What is it about the Children's Theater that keeps you coming back?
It's definitely the costumes. I'd have to give the production thumbs up. The actors seem to have a good chemistry thing going on. No, maybe it's just the magic of live theater. Or the affordability. Or the quality time spent with families. From the mouths of babes.
Arkansas Art Center Children's Theater.
The player on the field moving his hands, but medical personnel still gathered around him now. This injury occurred just about 5 minutes ago, and the game clock has been stopped since then. Been a game dominated by Bryant, the home team, the team in blue, and it is a Bryant player injured. We are not 100% certain of the player's number, so we're not going to speculate on that right now. He's in a position where we cannot see the number. And, you know, Scott, one thing that is an advancement in high school football is they take extreme caution. If there's any questionable injury, they're going to stop the game and make sure that player is absolutely properly cared for. We've had too many situations in this city and state where that has unfortunately been necessary. And, you know, just think of Kenyatta Tolbert and some others in this area who were injured very severely in high school football games.
Well, there's no question about that. Arkansas Sports Medicine out there on hand, and that's one thing that I've really been pleased to see is that over the past, 5 or 6 seasons, paying more attention to the health of these players, and they've got people from different sports medicine clinics out at every ball game, and they've got people signed to each team as to stay with them throughout the season to make sure that they continue to be healthy and that they are on the spot taping ankles and doing what's necessary to keep these guys healthy and these young guys, we might add, free from injury as much as they possibly can, and in this situation right here, taking every precaution to make sure that they do the right things and are overly cautious if you're going to err. That's certainly the side that you want to err on.
If you played football 20 years ago, you know that if you got hurt and you were laying on the field, the first thing the coach did would come and grab your belt buckle and kind of shake you and say, "You okay, son?" And now
Exactly
the coaches
right.
make sure they don't touch anything until they're certain they know what kind of injury it is. And certainly personnel always err on the side of caution these days, which is a good idea.
Well, this player is, ended up face down when this play was over, and he has not moved from that position. Now, we've seen him moving his hands and his fingers, but that's just the kind of precautions they take is do not move the player until they can get some sort of hard surface on his back or to try to strap him into some sort of a stretcher if that's the situation, but he has been laying face down for most of the time.
Both these teams have decent-sized squads. Bryant's a bit larger. I counted 75 in pregame on the field for Bryant. A lot of sophomores who played JV. And for McClellan, about 51 players. And, Scott, these kids have been out playing football in terms of practice since August, but many of them months and months before that, lifting weights and running and staying in shape. And people emphasize now that football's a year-long sport, and I think a lot of the players really feel that and give a lot more than the 3 or 4 months of the football season, give maybe 9 or 10 months out of the year to play football.
Well, there's no question about that, and Arkansas really is one of the few states remaining that does not have a football-type situation on a year-round basis, and they're trying to work towards that and get where they have a 6th period of sports where the football guys can go out and practice, of course, without the coaches, but as we see the ambulance approaching. But it is a year-round sport, and that's one of the things that this state has really wanted to do is to get the caliber of play up a little bit, and so these guys work at it all year long, and it's a combination of hard work by these players and the coaches, and throughout the state. And as we mentioned earlier, Bryant, and that's one thing that has really become more popular this year in the state is the 7-on-7 drills that they do. Basically, what that involves is primarily their skill positions, their receivers, their backs, and quarterback. Just kind of running what you might think is backyard football, just running some pass plays, and then the opposing 7 guys are defensive secondaries, linebackers, whatnot. The only positions that aren't involved really are the linemen, both offensive and defensive. So they do have that, and Bryant did that all summer long, and went down to Louisiana and played some teams down there on 7-on-7. And really, that's one of the things that they attribute their success to this year, is being able to do that and really connecting with their quarterback and their receivers and their running backs, and their secondary people have had some work as well, and held their own and did a good job of that. So like basketball really has become a year-round sport, football is doing the same thing.
Ambulance now coming onto the field to remove the injured player, and we have been speaking now for, gosh, Scott, what, 10, 12 minutes since this player got injured. Game's been stopped since then. This is our first broadcast outside Pulaski County this year, coming to you from Saline County at Bryant Stadium. An injured Bryant player on the field. The play happened was punt return, with McClellan's number 3, Keon McDuffie, returning the punt 10 yards, and then a Bryant player injured on the field, and play has stopped since then. You know, these two teams come from kind of opposite football traditions. Bryant has made the playoffs one time in its 50-year history, which is hard to believe. That was back in '85 when Coach Darrell Patton was a senior quarterback on the team. McClellan played for a state championship as recently as 1994 when Scooter Register was coach, and they went on and lost in the state finals to Pine Bluff 25-21. They had Corey Nichols on that team, Corey Stevens, Lance Red, and a great McClellan team. So McClellan, the team with more football tradition, and Bryant, picked near the bottom of 5A South this year, has surprised a ton of folks. In fact, surprised the whole state and come to a 7-0 record. And winning this game, which has now been stopped because an injured player is on the field, and we're waiting now for the ambulance to take the player away. We are going to pause for a break here and come back and let you know what happened involving this situation. We're in a game delay right now. First half, second quarter action, 1:35 to play. Back in a moment from Bryant High School. Football brought to you by Regions Bank, financial solutions that last a lifetime.
The strength of the Southeastern Conference is legendary.
10 national championships in the last year, the nation's top football attendance for the 18th consecutive year, and more than 1,100 athletes on the academic honor roll.
At Regions Bank, we salute the strength of the SEC because whether it's in athletics or banking, we know that strength and teamwork lead to success.
Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC championships.
Injured player was 67, Matt Lewis. He's listed as a defensive lineman, a junior, and Scott, they kept his helmet on and then secured into a backboard, taped his legs down, and put him in an ambulance. And if we receive any word on the condition of Matt Lewis, we'll let you know. But this all occurred with about 1.5 minutes to play in the second period, following a kick return by McClellan. Lewis was on the return team. Was injured and stayed face down on the field, and this game's been stopped now for, I imagine, close to 20 minutes at this time.
Exactly, and it's, you know, we certainly don't want to speculate on what his injury is. Obviously, they're concerned about his back, but one, you know, encouraging note is that I did see him move his hands, which is always a good sign. But again, Matt Lewis is the injured player, and hopefully they are being overly cautious, and certainly what you would want them to be. In a situation like this involving an injury, especially involving an injury of the neck or the back or the spine or the head.
We had just seen a 10-yard kickoff return, or punt return rather, by Keon McDuffie following Parkview's first unsuccessful possession. They had to punt the football. And now with 1.5 minutes to play, second period, McClellan will operate from its own territory. Quarterback Hammonds wants to throw long. Got an arm, got a man, pass is caught. All the way down inside the 40-yard line. On the receiving end, Jamal Morris, number 2. Big, long first down for the McClellan Lions.
Well, they've run that play several times, and that's the first time they've been able to connect on that. So, coming off a long break, both teams a little sluggish maybe, and McClellan taking advantage of a situation that's been a long time sitting down for both teams.
2 new McClellan players come in, Martis, and then Morris goes back out wide to the right side. Quarterback spins, follows the fake, now passes right side. He's got his man again. Again, it's complete to Morris, and Morris is out of bounds, but he's got a first down. Second consecutive first down for the McClellan Lions. They're on the move. A drive that started their own 26-yard line. 2 plays and 2 quick first downs.
Good pass play, and again, Morris right there on the spot. Good catch and out of bounds to stop the clock with just 1:05 to go in this first half. McClellan trying to get on the board and create some offense for themselves, and they're in a good spot to do that.
Morris, 2, goes wide to the left side along with McDuffie, 3. Hammond's the quarterback. Pitches out left side, incomplete, intended for Morris, and just beyond him, and the ball hits the ground incomplete.
Well, certainly a ball you need to catch, and Morris saying, you know, my fault, should have caught that ball. It was right on the spot, and plenty of time to throw it, and Morris wide open, but took his eye off the football and off his shoulder pads, incomplete pass.
Bryant defensive backs are playing back a bit on McClellan here, just wanting to prevent the long play. But now the Lions have got the ball inside the 25 of Bryant to the 24. Second quarter clock is at 1:01. It's stopped now following the incompletion. Second down and 10 for the Lions. They trailed 28-0. Hammonds fakes, passes, has Martis incomplete. Pass intended for Roger Martis.
Well, a little bit overthrown, and Josh Baumbeck right there, and possibly should have come up with that interception, but incomplete pass. And take a look at it right here. Baumbeck just a little bit too tall for him as well.
Third down and 10. Clock is stopped at 57 seconds left, second period. Morris and McDuffie go wide to the left side. Martis is wide to the right side. Sims and Davis in the backfield. Quarterback scrambling to his left. Hammonds now wants to run, has yardage. He's near a first down. He's down to the 15-yard line. A nice run by Hammonds, and the clock continues. We're at 44 and still running.
Good improvisation for Hammonds on the play. Nobody to throw to, rolling out to the left side of the tuck. A good blocking by the McClellan line as he gets around the outside and picks up some good yardage.
And the Lions
just
call
short
time.
Of the fourth down. Excuse me, just short of the first down.
No, he is, isn't he? He's about a yard short of the first down. Lions call timeout. 4th and 1 from about the 16, and the game clock at 32 seconds, second quarter. We'd mentioned the injured player you'd seen on the field before was one of the Benton players, one of the Bryant players, Matt Lewis, a junior, 67. And this game continues, and if we have any information on his condition, we'll pass it along.
Well, a good-looking drive by McClellan on this play, mixing up the run a little bit and the pass. A couple of good passes from Hammonds to Jamal Morris, bringing the ball down and giving McClellan their best chance in this first half to put some points on the board. But a big fourth down right here, just about a 4th and a yard to keep this drive alive.
17 is Sims, 24 Davis, 9 is Martis, wide to the left side. Clock will be at 32 seconds when the play starts. 4th and about 2. Handoff to Sims. He's got first down yardage and more inside the 10. Sims still on his feet to the 8, 7-yard line. Nice run by Sims for a first down. But the clock's at 25 seconds. It stops on the first down. And timeout call with 25 to play.
Good, strong run, and with timeouts left to burn, they do burn one, and important to do so, obviously, with just 25 seconds to go in this first half. But the key there, picking up the first down, keeping the drive alive, and giving themselves their best shot.
McClellan fell behind 28-0. If they get a touchdown here late in the half, 28-21, they're an offensive team that can put some points on the board. They have not stopped Bryant so far. Bryant has had the football 5 times, scored on the first 4 possessions. And so McClellan knows in the second half it'll have to stop Bryant and really turn things around.
Well, really, with the injury to the Bryant player, and the momentum could, seriously shift right here, especially if McClellan can find a way into the end zone. And down by just 3 touchdowns, a change of momentum going into the second half. This game might not be over just yet.
Balls of the 9, 1st and goal. Hammond spins toward the 5. Push back there, got down to the 6-yard line, and the play is stopped dead. Clock at 16 seconds and rolling. And McClellan calls timeout. So we're seeing Both teams burn all their timeouts here in the final seconds of the second quarter.
Well, now McClellan has used their 3 timeouts, so it's either do or die right here, and you got to put it up in the end zone through the air to make sure the clock is stopped if you don't make the completion, because a running play, and it'll be difficult to get off another play before the half ends.
We've seen that they like to throw that pass from Hammonds to either 2, Jamal Morris, or 3, Keon McDuffie. That's been effective so far. We've had some nice receptions in that connection, so maybe that'll happen again as McClellan tries, trailing 28-0 to get some points on the board before we head to the halftime locker room. Kids always have fun at football games. They don't care who's winning.
Absolutely. She is right down on the action at the goalpost. She's seeing it front and center. And
walking right in front of the official there.
Do you have a drink of water?
Second and goal. 15 seconds to play, second quarter. Little Rock McClellan against Bryant. Bryant, number 1 in the state, 7-0. McClellan ranked 26th by our friends at Hootens Arkansas Football.
Well, you're going to have to feel like this is really the ball game, even though it's just the first half. If they cannot put it, and they put 5 more seconds back on the clock, so it's 20 seconds to go in this first half. And if McClellan cannot punch it in with this opportunity and continue to trail by 28, this could be the big swing in this football game.
Hammonds is the quarterback, 6. Sims 17, one of the running backs. Davis 24. And then McDuffie and Morris are wide to the left side. Second and goal from the McClellan Lions. Hammonds wants to throw, pass toward the end zone. Caught, touchdown, McDuffie. Nice catch by Keon McDuffie, number 3.
Well, Keon McDuffie has finally on the good end of a pass play. He's been overthrown several times tonight, a little frustrated, but this will take care of that frustration right here. You score the touchdown for your ball club and claw back into this football game.
Pass goes 7 yards to McDuffie and comes with 11 seconds left on the clock in the first half. McClellan needed that. They'll try and add the PAT here. McDuffie will attempt the extra point. He is number 3. He got his boot laced in time. And the kick is no good, so it stays at 28-6 ball game. Kick failed. Bryant 28 and McClellan 6.
Answered the bell when it looked like they were certainly down and out. A couple of nice pass plays, a good drive, and they are on the scoreboard.
Touchdown play, 7 yards. Hammonds to Keon McDuffie. PAT no good, so 6 is the score, 28-6. And Bryant will have one more crack at it in the first half. Football game was all Bryant. Bryant scored in his first 4 possessions, a pair of touchdown runs by Luke Brown, and then 2 touchdown passes from McCoy. A 15-yarder to Matt White and a 15-yarder to Matt Brown. And 9 Martis, or rather 3 McDuffie, is set to kick off for the Lions of McClellan High. McDuffie boots it really short. Ball bounces in front of the 35-yard line, out of bounds there. And this will give Bryant great field position.
Well, that was not a good kick at all, but it almost turned out to be a great kick. Bryant really not converging on the ball, going out of bounds, obviously, and the flags fly, so Bryant will get great field position. But had that ball taken a different hop and stayed in action, McClellan certainly was in position to recover that football, but not to be in with 10.9 seconds to go in this first half. Bryant more than likely will be satisfied with their 28-6 lead into the locker room.
Well, this first half has taken an hour and a half. Started at 7:30. We're at 9 o'clock right now, and a few ticks remain here. 11 seconds as Bryant gets set to run what is probably the final play of the first half, leading 28-6. McCoy takes a knee, and the half comes to an end. And the Bryant crowd, no doubt quieted by the injury that affected their team. One of their players, Matt Lewis, taken from the field to give their team a hand. Bryant on top 28-6. We'll come back for a quick recap at halftime. Bryant 28 and McClellan 6. Football on Comcast is brought to you by Regions Bank. Financial solutions that last a lifetime.
Can a bank make your life more rewarding? It can, if it's Regions Bank, because now there's Regions Rewards. Better rates, more convenient, region-wide service. Regions Rewards is so new, so bold, it could only come from the strength of Regions. Shouldn't your life be more rewarding? Regions Rewards, only from the strength of Regions Bank.
For the home team, the Bryant Hornets, 4 first-half touchdowns, 2 passes from the quarterback Derek McCoy, 1 to Matt White for a 7-0 lead, and then the 4th one to Matt Brown, 28-0, and then McClellan came back real quickly, and with 11 seconds remaining in the second quarter, got a 7-yard touchdown pass from Hammonds to McDuffie, and that made it 28-6. We're at halftime now. Bryant leads McClellan 28-6. Stand by for the second half here on Comcast. This broadcast brought to you by Regions Bank. Financial solutions that will last a lifetime.
Can a bank help you get better grades in college? It can if it's Regions Bank, because now there's Regions Rewards. With Regions Rewards, we offer special collegiate checking, the right call, student loans, PC banking, and over 700 convenient locations throughout the South, which in turn means you can spend more time studying and maybe even make the Dean's List. Well, it could happen.
And a first half of football that was mostly Bryant Hornets. 4 Bryant touchdowns on the Hornets' first 4 possessions. 2 touchdown runs by Luke Brown and 2 passes by Derek McCoy. 1 15-yarder to Matt White and 1 15-yarder to Matt Brown. And then a touchdown very late by McClellan on a pass from Hammonds to McDuffie. But Scott, McClellan scoring late. That may bode well for them in the second half.
Well, it certainly will, and it kind of put the momentum in their corner. And right now with this kickoff, Bryant needs to reestablish themselves, or McClellan certainly needs to make a defensive stop, which they've not done with much success in that first half.
The Hornets will start from around their own 20-yard line. Bryant, the team in blue, number 1 in the state. They come into this game 7-0 and 4-0 in 5A South. McClellan won a first game, a big one, against J.A. Fair, and then they've been losing since then. They come in 2-5 and 1-3 in 5A South. But they're a team with good talent, good speed, and good coaching. Just so far have not gotten the breaks, and they score late against this Bryant club and make it a 28-6 game now as we head to the third quarter. Quarterback for Bryant is 14, Derek McCoy. And Bryant likes to go with that no-huddle offense, so watch him be tricky. Hornets, inside handoff. First man is Brown. Brown's got a gain of about 3 on the play, and he's to the 23-yard line.
Well, in that first half, as Bryant really has done the entire season, they mixed up the run and the pass to perfection and had success doing both. And let's see if they pretty much open up their playbook and going with that no-huddle once again, and a lot of spread wide receivers out there. Let's see if they continue their trend from the first half. No reason to stop now.
McClellan's deep safety is 3, McDuffie. He's been a key on both sides of the football. Pass right side, or flip right side, is to Brown. Brown pushed around, has a little bit of a gain, and Bryant runs the option, but not a big gain that time for the Hornets. It'll be third down and probably a long 3 or 4 for Bryant.
Little pitch out to the right side. Luke Brown taking the pitch, getting hammered right there, but picking up some yardage, 3rd and short. And one thing we want to remind you of, if Bryant really controls their own destiny, if that's possible, but they win tonight and they are in the playoffs for the first time since 1985, so certainly incentive for the Hornets.
3rd and 3 for the team in blue, the home team, Bryant Hornets. 12 seconds on the play clock. Now the play being changed by Derek McCoy. Looks over to Coach Darryl Patton. McCoy wants to throw on 3rd down. Nice spiral right side. Has a man, Wallace. Wallace has first down yardage across the 40-yard line. On the receiving end, a senior, Michael Wallace.
Well, Michael Wallace wide open on the play, and a lot of options for Derek McCoy to go to. Really just had him in mind from the get-go, and wide open, as you can see right there. Nobody around him, and picked up some great yardage at first down, and the Bryant Hornets picking up where they left off in that first half.
This drive starting from the Bryant 21-yard line. Quick snap, McCoy quickly fires it right side, has a man. He's hit quickly, too. And again, that's Wallace with a reception, but very little gain on the play.
Just a quick step out and bullet out to the flats. Wallace open, but not for very long, as McClellan doing a good job of converging on the play. And number 9 has been all over the field tonight for McClellan. Roger Martis has been Johnny on the spot for the Lions.
More gain than I thought, almost 5 yards. 2nd down and about 5 for the Bryant Hornets. 14, McCoy has a man pursuing. Now he's pulled down behind the line of scrimmage. A sack recorded by McClellan's 23, Laverace James, defensive end, a junior.
Well, really, that's only the 4th sack that Bryant has allowed all year long, and Laverace James doing a good job of getting the penetration into the backfield, and a big loss, big defensive play. Their first big defensive play of the night. 3rd
down 9 for the Bryant Hornets. McCoy sends all 4 receivers out and his backs as well. Flips it out right side. Brown's got some room, but pulled down way short of the first down on the completion to number 4, Luke Brown.
Well, the screen word, they let the floodgates open, and out in the flats to Luke Brown, but McClellan stepping up their defensive play so far in this second half and keeping it to a minimal gain. Should bring up a...
There might have been a flag.
Well, they haven't changed the down marker.
Yeah, marker's still showing 3rd and long.
Well, they called a clipping play against Bryant. McClellan decided to decline, bring up a 4th down and long.
So the Hornets want a punt. 4th and about 8 for Bryant. Their first possession of the second half. Bryant jumped out with 4 touchdowns on 4 first-half possessions. Then McClellan scored late, and we're at that point right now, 28-6. And so 29, Josh Alt, senior, drops back for the Bryant Hornets. McClellan drops 1 man back deep. That's McDuffie back there. Ball takes a hop. McDuffie will let it roll, takes a big Bryant jump all the way across the 5-yard line down to the 4. And so, boy, it really took a roll for Bryant, and McClellan will have to start way back in his own territory.
Well, that's one of those spots where you want to make the fair catch. It cost... He could have gotten over in front of it in time, and it cost him some big yardage. But the McClellan defense stepping up and coming up with a big stop on defense. Their 2nd stop of the Hornets in as many drives for McClellan, but now they've got a big hole to work out of, and see if that offense can pick up where it left off in that first half, scoring a touchdown, getting momentum back in their corner. 1 touchdown quickly in this 3rd quarter here, and this is certainly a new ball game.
It was a 74-yard touchdown drive that ended with seconds left in the first half and made it a 28-6 game. But now a long way to go for the Crimson Lions. Inside handoff, very little gain. In fact, pushed back into the end zone, but it'll be whistled dead short of there. And so Bryant will have 2nd down and long from inside its own. Rather, McClellan will have it 2nd and long inside its own 5.
I want to give you a preliminary update on the injured player in that first half, Matt Lewis, for Bryant. They said that he did have feeling in his arms and his legs and was able to move them. So really just kind of hopefully precautionary measures, and that may be the case. But so possibly good news. That really is not totally confirmed yet, but that came out of the Bryant locker room at halftime.
Game was stopped for about 20 minutes while Lewis was tended to on the field and taken away in an ambulance. We hope the news stays good for Matt Lewis. Hammonds wants to throw now, tucks it up and runs. Got a gain, got a first down. Hammonds is going. He's across the 20, 25, 28-yard line. Nice run by Hammonds. 24 yards for the quarterback from McClellan.
Well, good athletic move Hammond's trying to draw back to pass. Nobody there, and did not want to wait long in that end zone as Bryant was closing in on him, but took off out to the right side, picked up some great yardage at first down, and got his team out of a deep hole.
Takes the ball to the 28. Back into the game for McClellan. 2, Jamal Morris. Morris will go wide to the left side with McDuffie. Off wide to the right side is Martis. First down and 10. McClellan trailing 28-6. Option left side. He's hit. Pitches off, and Sims will have to cover it in the backfield and prevent a turnover, and that's a mistake for McClellan. And Bryant will push McClellan way back on that play.
Well, Hammond's trying to go with the option play right here, but Bryant, and we mentioned that name one more time, number 83, Justin Keene, shooting the gap and getting Hammonds really before he could get a good handle on the pitch. Knocked the ball away, and a big loss for McClellan.
For a loss of 10, Morris is back in. Martis is back in for McClellan. Second down and 10 for the Crimson Line. Next week, McClellan plays Benton and then Sheridan. And for Bryant, they have Texarkana on the road next week, and then they close with a traditional Saline County showdown with Benton at Benton. Terrell Hammonds wants to pass. 2 men rushing him, escapes him, now spins away. He's still got room, has a little gain on the play, and that's it. Hammonds trying to make something happen, but could not break free. It'll bring up third down and long for McClellan. Like he'd ended up losing yardage on the play.
There's Mr. Keene one more time, but Hammond's doing a good job of eluding the rush right there, but could not get away from Sean Reynolds, the junior defensive lineman, and Bryant doing a good job of a lot of open field for Hammonds to run if he could have got away from Reynolds right there, but good defensive play by Bryant.
McDuffie and Morris comes back in. McDuffie goes wide to the left side, and then Morris halfway between him and the line of scrimmage, him and the interior part of the line. Third and long, McClellan. Their first possession. Second half, trailing 28-6 as the ball is snapped, flag.
And you look up, and too much time. Delay of game will be the call. Stepping off 5 yards. The clock, play clock was at 0 before they snapped it. Still third down, but quite a lot of real estate to cover here to get that first down.
Oh, third down and about 22 for McClellan. Third quarter action. McClellan trails Bryant. Hammonds throws left side, has a man, McDuffie. McDuffie across the 25 out of the 28-yard line, but well short of the first down.
Getting back to the original line of scrimmage, still about 10 yards short of that first down, brings them a fourth down, but had a lot of room to work with, picked up some big yardage, but had a lot farther to go to pick up that first down.
And so Martis is back on to punt. Fourth down, 11 for the Lions. Bryant drops 1 man back. They'll receive the punt. Back deep to take it is Matt Brown. Matt Brown at the 50-yard line. Fair catches it. It'll be great McClellan, or great Bryant field position on the McClellan punt. It will go from the 49-yard line of the Lions.
Lamar is really doing a good job each time that McClellan has to punt. The snap usually is not there for him. He's having to scoop it up and come up with it and get off a solid punt, doing a good job of that. And their cover team getting downfield and keeping the return to just a fair catch.
Hornets go from the 49. First man turned back, and that's Luke Brown. No gain in the play. Loss of yardage. Second down and about 11 for McClellan, for Bryant. They hit Brown hard.
Cameron Menzies on the stop, the first one to meet him at the line.
Hornets have second down and 10.5. Darrell Patton and his staff signaling in the plays. And they're relayed on by the quarterback, McCoy. One of the co-captains, Derek McCoy, D-E-R-I-K. Rolls to his left, has men pursuing him, passes left side, incomplete. Pass intended for Josh Farmer, but over his hands.
just out of the reach of his fingertips. And McCoy getting pressured a little bit, rolling out to his left, and hard to turn your body around to the right, and overshot the receiver just a little bit. It's a lot now.
Third down and about 11 for the Hornets. This would be a big win for Bryant. They would guarantee the playoffs for only the second time in the school's 50-year football history, a number that's been celebrated. Bounce back in a huge way. Drop the ball. McClellan has it. And the quarterback, McCoy, never had the ball. And there's a turnover. It gives the ball back to the Lions.
Well, that's the first turnover of the game, and certainly not what Bryant wanted. McCoy just pulling away a little bit too soon before he had a grasp on the football, and it touches the turf. McClellan is right there to scoop it up, and now they are back on offense and in good field position to start this drive.
Excellent field position. They're best in the game. They took over from the Bryant 46-yard line.
Snap was a little bit higher. He had to make the adjustment and trying to go back and get in passing position before he had control of the football and coughed it up.
From the enemy's 46. Fake, he's got time, wants to throw. Hammond heaves it downfield. Has a man. If it's a catch, it's a long play. Incomplete, intended for McDuffie. McDuffie covered down there by 4, Luke Brown.
Boy, wide open on the play. He had the receiver right there. And Hammond has a good, strong arm. This time flooded it up there just a little bit too much, and McClellan could not come up with a grab. A great look at it right here. Stretched out forward, but the ball did touch the ground, and incomplete pass.
And Terrell Hammond's made a nice fake on the play and then bootlegged the ball and got the pass away. Second down and 10. The Lions trailing 28-6. A strike here that can get within 14 with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Hammond's rolls, fires right side, incomplete, intended again for Big McDuffie.
Hammond's really first-year quarterback for the Lions and able to run the ball and run the option well. A good athlete, can scramble, but really looks like he's just trying to guide that football there and can't find his man, Keon McDuffie.
McDuffie listed as 6 feet tall, 160. I think he plays bigger than that, though. He's been a big target out there, and he splits out. Actually, he's out of the game right now, and wide to the right side is Morris. And Martis comes wide to the right as well. And Hammonds wants to throw, but tucks it up, and he is snowed under. Help him make that tackle for Bryant. 33, Patrick Defoe.
Well, as much offense as we had in the first half, we've got some defense in this second half. Both teams really failing to drive the football down the field, and not so much defensive effort, but that time it was a good sack by Bryant, but some dropped balls and fumbled the ball. First turnover of the game by Bryant, the last possession they had.
Lions had him moving, but now the drive is stymied. 4th down and long for McClellan, so Martis is in to kick, and deep for Bryant is Matt Brown, number 2. Third quarter, 4 minutes and 20 seconds to play. Gets off a high kick, not too deep, and takes a big bounce for the blue team, Bryant. Now the Hornets don't have bad field position, considering McClellan started the drive at the Bryant 46-yard line. So not much doing there for McClellan on offense. They punt it away, and Bryant gets the ball back in decent shape.
Well, important right here for Bryant to reestablish themselves offensively. They've not done anything in their last 3 possessions. And really ever since their injured teammate went down, with that injury, they've really been stymied offensively, and it's time for them to pick it back up, and McCoy up under center.
They scored on their first 4 possessions of the ball game. On the last 4, they have had to punt each time. Handoff goes to Brown. He's got some running room, has a little gain. Finally, he's spun down after a gain of about 3 on the play for 4, Luke Brown.
Steve Spears right on the play. Luke Brown not wanting to go down there, putting up a fight and kind of spun around for a couple more yards. Take a look at it right here. Brown getting the bulk of the carries so far in this ball game. And so, no, I'm not going down right there. I'm going to go ahead and grab a few more yards. Good blue-collar effort on that play.
Leroy Hamilton, one of the keys on that tackle. Quick pass, left side, Matt White. White's got some yardage, short of the first down. But a nice gain for White to bring up 3rd down and short for Bryant on a very quick route to White. And he is near enough to make it about a 4th down and 3, now 3rd down and 3 for the Hornets.
Well, obviously no huddle right here, and a good decision just to pick up get that nice completion, pick up some yardage, give yourself 3rd and short. And let's see what they go to right here. Number 11, Matt White. We haven't called his name too much here in the last, seems like, a couple of quarters.
Josh Farmer goes wide to the right. Brown's in the backfield. McCoy to pass. Passes off right side. Has a man. Wallace complete, and he's got a 1st down. Michael Wallace on the receiving end.
Well, there's a flag on the play. The defender got there a little bit too quick, so Bryant will decline that one. A good tight spiral and a good route by Michael Wallace, keeping the defender, keeping himself between the ball and the defender, which is exactly what you need to do in reception. And pass interference by McClellan. Bryant will obviously decline 1st down.
1st down count. Surprisingly, Bryant 13 to McClellan's 9. McClellan's been able to produce some yardage, but only 1 touchdown. And Bryant a couple times has hit pretty quickly. But this time they're in McClellan territory from the Lion 34-yard line. Bryant Hornets, team in blue, number 1 in the state, 7-0 and unbeaten in 5A South. McCoy wants to pass, lofts one up, nearly intercepted and dropped by McDuffie. He had the interception in his hands, but let it go.
Well, McDuffie just playing center field right there and watching the quarterback, watching his eyes to see where he's going to go with the football. And this time just stepped up and near interception, but could not come up with it. So Bryant dodges a bullet right there and avoids their 2nd turnover of this 2nd half. A little bit high on the pass, and really Luke Brown, not much of an opportunity to catch that football.
2nd down, 10 for the Hornets. Now they flip-flop receivers from right to left. Wallace comes wide to the left side, and Matt Brown goes wide to the right. And McCoy, sends everybody out, has some pursuit, flips it off to the right side, completed to Farmer. Farmer has got a gain, but not nearly enough for a 1st down. In fact, he is at about the 30-yard line, still a good 6 or 7 yards short of the 1st down.
Rod King from McClellan doing a good job of closing the gap on that screen right there. Didn't quite get him down, but slowed him up a little bit and waited for some help to get there.
3rd down, 8. Farmer and Brown come wide to the left side. Number 14, the quarterback McCoy. 10 seconds on the play clock. 1:58 to play, 3rd quarter. The Hornets are on top, 28-6. McCoy flushed out to his left side, finally gets it off, incomplete, intended for Matt Brown, but broken up.
Well, Keith Jackson breathing down McCoy's neck on that one. Coming around from that left side, and we take a look at it right here, 64. Sees McCoy is just a big pork chop right there, and trying to hammer down on him, but McCoy doing a good job of avoiding him, although the pass is complete. So good pressure by Keith Jackson.
4th down and long, Bryant. But they have the ball in McClellan territory at the Lion 33-yard line, and so the Hornets are going to go for it on 4th and long. They have not completed a drive since they completed their first 4 in a row in the game. On 4th down, pass incomplete, and nicely defended by McClellan's 23, Laverace James.
Well, Taylor, after a shaky start in this game, obviously Bryant's first 4 possessions resulted in touchdowns, but since that point, McClellan has stepped up their play and really answered the bell and come to the table to play some defense and have done a good job. Now their offense can get on track, and time's running out in this 3rd quarter, so they don't have a whole lot more opportunities to put the ball in the end zone. They need to do it right here.
McClellan's defense has done a job in the 2nd half. There's been no scoring in the 3rd quarter after a 34-point first half, both teams combined. Sims has it on the pitch. He's got a gain. He's across the 40, near first down yardage. A nice run by 17, Trey Sims, a senior, 5'10", 200 pounds.
Well, Sims, a good stiff arm on Matt White to get himself around the corner. White just a little bit shorter and smaller than Sims. Take a look at it right here, just getting that arm out and keeping White away from his body and picking up some additional yardage, picking up that first down.
I wonder if he's related to the Sims of Sims barbecue fame. He spells it the same way with one M. I want to know his family if he is. Some of the best barbecue in town, I guarantee. It was a first down, 1st and 10, McClellan Lions. Terrell Hammonds wants to throw. Has some time, pass left side, has a man, and it's dropped. McDuffie had his hands on it. He, a minute ago, dropped an interception. At that time, dropped what was near a first down pass.
Well, no doubt about that. When McDuffie was trying to make his move before he had possession of the football and took his eyes off of it and resulted in an incomplete pass. He cannot believe it.
Jason Rose defending on the play for the Hornets. Brings up 2nd down and 10, 1:28 to go, 3rd quarter. Team in red and white, trailing 28-6. This game being played at Bryant High School, home of the #1 team in the state. The Democrat Gazette still has Osceola #1, but as far as 5A teams go, no question, it's Bryant. There's a nice run and a nice gain by Bryant's Andreas Davis, who scored a touchdown last week. He's got first down yardage for McClellan. The Crimson Lions have a first down. If they mark it right.
Well, good pitch out to the side there. Nice blocking up the middle, and really just used his speed to get through that hole and close to the first down anyway.
And they're going to measure. Davis was the defensive end last year. The guy just ran the ball, 24, converted to a running back this season, 5'11", 215, has great size. Boy, I was close on that.
That is a first down.
Knew it all the way.
Nose of the football. That's all that matters.
Clock's at 1:20, 3rd quarter. Scott, this is a lengthy game. We're at 9:47 on our wristwatches here. Of course, this game's being seen tonight. Airs at 10 o'clock and then again on Saturday morning. So the time isn't really a factor if you're sitting at home. But my friends, this has been a long, long football game. Hammonds on first down fakes, has time, passes over the middle, incomplete, intended for Morris, and away from his hands.
Well, Morris was wide open, running across the middle, the underneath ball, and Hammonds saw him but just could not get it to him. And passing off the front foot right there, you need to throw into it off your back foot and end up on your front foot, but he just kind of lobbed it out there and certainly didn't get enough zip on it to get it to his intended receiver.
Number 9, Shea Wrench defending on the play. Still 10 to go for the first down. Pitch, Sims. Sims is stopped short. 3rd down and 10 for McClellan.
Jason Rose on the stop. Good tackle by Jason Rose. Nowhere to go. Got low, and Sims had his feet knocked out from underneath him.
David Gunn's Lions picked up 1. Gunn assisted by Larry Stanley, Anthony Chambers, Calvin Finley, O.C. Remley, Mike Thrasher, and Michael Dean. The McClellan coaching staff. 3rd and 9. Martis is a man in motion. Now he gets set. He's a wide out to the right side. Quarterback scrambles. Hammonds looking for running room. Has got some, but not enough for a first down. And he'll be well short of the marker. 4th down for the Lions.
Well, good coverage again by the secondary. Hammonds cannot find anybody open. Has good presence in that pocket. Feels the pressure coming in on him. Tries to make something happen on 3rd down, but could not pick up enough yardage to pick up that first down. So it brings up a 4th.
And there is a timeout on the field, so we will take a break. Actually, we've reached the end of the 3rd period. Bryant leads McClellan 28-6. football comes back in a few seconds. Brought to you by Regions Bank Financial Solutions. It'll last a lifetime.
Can a bank make your life more rewarding? It can, if it's Regions Bank, because now there's Regions Rewards. Better rates, more convenience, region-wide service. Regions Rewards is so new, so bold, it could only come from the strength of Regions. Shouldn't your life be more rewarding? Regions Rewards, only from the strength of Regions Bank.
Still 28-6, and Scott, what happened to this game?
Well, it went from completely exciting and a lot happening, especially if you're a Bryant fan, to really not much going on. It seemed to take place at the same time that the Bryant player Matt Lewis went down with the injury.
Final 12 minutes of the game now. McClellan has the ball. Hammonds wants to run, can run, has a gain, and we'll see if he has first down yardage, but a nice run by Hammonds to start the fourth quarter for the McClellan Lions.
Well, again, Hammond's just really using his athletic ability, rolling out to the left, nobody open, so he tucks it and runs around to the right side and picked up the first down for McClellan, keeping the ball moving.
You know, McClellan, if they score here and go for two, they can make it a 28-14 game. They're the kind of team, Scott, with athletes and some, you know, potential we've seen to score quickly. They could get back in this game. It's been dominated by Hornets. Have done nothing since their first four possessions. They scored the first four times, and they've been empty since then. McClellan has it 1st and 10, trying to make a game against the #1 team in the state. Hammonds wants to throw. Everybody goes out. Long pass, left side, has a man over the fingertips, and incomplete, intended for Jamal Morris, and he had him, Scott.
He did have him, and Morris kind of looked like he short on that one just a little bit. The pass was right where it needed to be, and he's overthrown some people tonight, but that one just a little bit overthrown, just out of his reach, but barely. A nice pass by Hammonds on that one, just out of the reach.
Josh Bombeck was defending on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 10 to go for the McClellan Lions. 11.5 to play in the fourth quarter. Hammonds wants to throw. He's got pressure this time, lots of pressure. Squirms out of it, but he loses yardage on the play. Loss of 6. Hammonds is dragged down behind the line of scrimmage and helping make the play. Among those back there for Bryant, 72, and that's Michael McClellan.
Well, a big defensive play by Bryant, and really coming none too soon. They need a spark on that defensive side, and they really need a spark for their whole football team. They've been kind of flat since that incident in the first half, and really have not been able to get anything going either offensively or defensively. But a nice play by Bryant, and let's see what that can lead to for them.
Strong Hornet defensive play makes it 3rd down and 16 for the Lions. McClellan sends a pair of receivers wide to the right side. Terrell Hammonds rolls to his right, wants to throw, rockets the ball right side, has McDuffie near first down yardage, complete. And he is inside the 25 or near the 25-yard line and close to a McClellan first down.
Well, you got to hand it to McClellan. They're moving the football. They are sure keeping themselves in this football game as far as their mental approach to it and wanting to score and moving the ball down the field and throwing the football.
And they move the sticks. First down on the completion of McDuffie. And for the Lions, that's the 5th first down of the 3rd quarter. They're marching the football. Fourth period shows 10:40 to play. It's a 28-6 Bryant game. McClellan scored late in the first half. Their PAT failed. That was the last score in the game. McDuffie and Morris go wide to the right side. Martis wide left. The quarterback, Hammonds, tucks it up and runs, and a short gain. That's it for Hammonds. Out to the 20.
Well, Hammonds certainly is the offense for McClellan. As he goes, so goes the offense. And tonight, trying to make things happen both in the air and using his athletic ability to, when the receivers aren't open, to pick up some yardage with his feet.
2nd down, 9. clock is ticking toward 10 minutes to play in the football game. If Bryant can hang on and win this game, they lock up a playoff spot for the first time since '85, only the second time in school history. Hammonds wants to throw toward the end zone. Incomplete. And was it McDuffie again it was intended for? He hit it hard. No, it was Morris, intended for Morris. And Morris hit the ground really hard. Jamal Morris is your intended receiver, number 2.
Well, you can see it right here. There are a lot of blue jerseys around there, and just overthrown. Really not a good chance for Morris to bring that ball down.
Brings up 3rd and 9 for McClellan. McDuffie comes back in. Martis is back in with a play. Kids enjoying football. People in Bryant have enjoyed this season. They've nearly got a capacity crowd here. They've added some bleachers. They've got end zone seating. This team is enjoying its run at number 1 in the state.
It's been 50 years in the making.
3rd down, 9 for McClellan. Lions want to throw again. Hammonds toward the end zone. Has a man, McDuffie, inside the 5, down to the 1-yard line. Near touchdown for McClellan. And McDuffie, that's been their go-to guy in the second half, Scott.
Well, he has been their go-to guy, and he's hauled down a lot of passes in this second half. Hammonds really not known for his passing, but forced to with McClellan trailing by 3 touchdowns in this second half, and he's doing a good job with that. A good pass right there, and McClellan knocking on the door.
They mark the ball at the 2. Golden Lions trailing 28-6. Clock is running at 9:28 in the 4th quarter. Terrell Hammonds, the quarterback. Fakes the handoff, keeps the ball, drives toward the end zone, but no, he's driven back. And McClellan can't get in, and Bryant's defense really turned him back. Helping key that play for Bryant was number 35, Jason Rose, a sophomore.
Well, with the short field that McClellan has to work with right here, you can expect Hammonds to try to make something happen himself, either on the option play or just or keeping it himself. Really not an opportunity for McClellan to throw the football with this short field right here. So Bryant can pretty much expect the run they did right there, and they shut it down.
Ball's at just beyond the 3-yard line. Called it 3.5 from the end zone. 8:41 goal line situation. Hammonds with a pair of backs behind him. Now wants to run the option left side. Keeps it. Can't find the end zone. Bryant drags him down about the 3.
Well, again, Hammonds controlling the offense, and no doubt right here was his number they called from the get-go. No option working right there, just trying to get Hammonds into the end zone on his own power here. Brings up a 3rd down, another big play by Bryant. They need to come up with a couple of more right here.
3rd and goal from the 3. Hornets are trying to keep a safe lead now. They're on top 28-6. Remember, they had a scare last week. Went to overtime before they beat Camden Fairview on the alt field goal in overtime, 24-20.